has lasted this long.
It's good to have someone reliable to count on again. You're back. Were you able to secure Hilda safely? My bar for questionable has been raised quite high in my time here. Care to elaborate? Reckless. Perhaps a necessary step in seeking a cure, but to do so alone, with the region in the state it is. Well, it's good you were able to arrive there before she'd gotten herself killed. You're more capable than I had assumed. I'll make sure you're suitably rewarded for your effort. Take a moment to dust yourself off, but report back to me soon. I have another job for you. This one's a bit more delicate than the others. You're dismissed.
Old vault sure was,
Yes,
before the accidents.
of course. I am the overseer here after all. What would you like to know? To shelter humanity for a new tomorrow. What other purpose could it possibly serve? I would advise you not to speculate any further. What is it they say? It's all about who you know? In my case, that would be everyone of importance in assuring such a thing came to be. My position and connections are both expansive and unique. Such a thing comes with many privileges. Is it such a surprise? In case you hadn't noticed yet, we used to move in high places and were very influential people. Getting on the board was inevitable. Creating a seat as an overseer, well, that was much more challenging. I had a way with money, but Cassidy, she had a way with people. Oh, I wish you could have seen her. They danced for her like a puppet on a string. Of course, the smell of money will always be the best conversation starter, but it takes true talent to earn true, unending trust. She was a marvel. Oh, Fatayong, I got carried away there. Another topic, please. Go on, then. Great vision can often be at odds with time, I'm afraid. It's hard to say how things would have been different if we'd finished when the bombs fell. To see my dreams come to fruition. Oh, but to dwell over what-ifs will bring you nowhere. So we shall move forward with what we have. All a part of my grand plan. I wanted a vault that wasn't just about preserving the past, but continuing to build a new future. Climate control, increased life expectancy, and the deadliest weapons to ward off would-be survivors of the apocalypse. This fell through once we were afflicted with this ghoul phenomenon, with radiation and illness no longer seeming to be a concerning factor. Then much of our research became focused on improving our new standards of life, and preservation against the feral affliction. But I tire of retracing the past. Our priorities have continued to evolve along with the dangers of the world above. The machine hadn't been fully operational for many years, not since the first accident. I'm less clear on the most recent slip-up, the one that shook the Earth and created the storm, but that has left it broken again, nonetheless. Of course. Oh, this is the good bit. What sparks your interest?
The new animals up there.
Family business.
Good for eating?
This business goes a long way back. It was absolutely out of question to ever do anything but this. My father was a very intelligent man. He taught me everything I needed to take over, and I'd like to believe that I haven't let him down. I wouldn't say I'm quite lost. I'm still of sound mind. My new condition has granted me a way to see, though, which has been a big change, but certainly one I've welcomed. The world I live in now has made me stronger. I venture to guess the lost above have also grown in power, but simply lack direction. Interesting? It's far more than that. It is powerful, a privilege to carry this name. It means pride, and pride we have.
That's a system and it works, damn it.
Well, business, of course. My position on the Vault-Tec board required a permanent move as things escalated. I'd frequented this country many times, of course. This is how I met my Cassie. Perhaps the best summary of what brought me here is simply her. Of course. Auf Wiedersehen.
Oh, welcome back. If you're ready, I'd like to brief you on a highly classified matter. To be frank, you are among the few here that I believe I can share this information with. Though I suppose that's not saying much. I have not been entirely honest about my role here. Not to you, nor other members of the Vault, Hugo included. I am Lieutenant Colonel James T. Oberlin, United States Army. Actively, not formally. I remain in contact with him to this day. Originally, I was to oversee a government-funded weather research project. One that was shut down and then ultimately scooped up by Mr. Stoltz. While I was never exactly an expert on the subject, Mr. Stoltz found my experience with the project important for the transition. That project led to the development of this very Vault's weather machine, and ultimately our current predicament. I have remained in contact with my associates in the Army ever since, reporting the good and the bad. Not long ago, I dispatched a member of my team to pass along my findings to a drop site I've been using over the years. Unfortunately, he has failed to return, and I fear the worst. Daniel is a good man. It's important we bring him home, if still possible. There's also the matter of the report, and whether or not it had been passed along, or potentially fallen into the wrong hands. No, Daniel is part of the security crew hired by Mr. Stoltz, but he is still a member of my team. While I wasn't able to select my team personally, I have come to trust each and every one of them. It pains me not knowing Daniel's condition. Information on the weather machine, the storm, the Lost, and Mr. Stoltz's recent activities. If things continue to accelerate as they are, I may end up requesting additional support. It's imperative they be made aware of what's happening. Thank you. The drop is located at High Knob Tower along the western perimeter of the park. We haven't had trouble with that location so far, but there is a chance the Lost have overrun it. Or potentially some other party, drawn in by the allure of the storm. Either way, you're going in blind. Be prepared for the worst.
That hurts. be the boss. I really should.
Hugo's in. This one bites! Get my foot! Yours! Hope we don't catch you alive! Nation Day!
Baron Gorham!
Chief, Heinop's been compromised. A group of outsiders rolled in, heavily armed, started setting up camp. Only a matter of time until they find me up here. Pretty sure this is it for me. But, listen, Chief, I gotta come clean. I want to go to my grave with a clean conscience. This whole thing, the reports, the army, it's a sham, boss. Every single file has gone straight to Mr. Stoltz. We're his men first, Chief, not yours. Not really. There's no military contact. Just Hugo. Those of us in the know have been heading out here to play the part, make you think it's real. But this ain't a drop site. It's a smoke break spot. I'm sorry you gotta find out like this, Chief. You're one of the good ones. Don't trust anyone down there. We're all just his puppets. Oh, shit! I'm sorry.
You seem perturbed, my friend. Has your work with Chief Oberlin been that taxing?
I'm tired of all the red tape and security checks just to get a breath of
How
purely
crude.
fresh air.
Come now, my friend. What is this all about? Of course his men work for me. You all work for me, my friend. Allow me to explain. James T. Oberlin is a workhorse. Powerful, focused, efficient. But someone like him needs order. Blinders and a carrot, if you will. With too much freedom of thought, people like him are lost. James came to me as a part of a package. I bought a box of cereal, and he was the delightful toy at the bottom. Now he was a highly decorated, highly skilled prize, but still a part of a larger whole. The best thing for someone like him is a simple purpose. He plays this role because he needs to believe it's true. A smarter man would see through this facade immediately. But not Oberlin. Oh no. A crueler thing would be shattering the only thing that's kept the man sane for the past 2 decades. I do this for him, you know? I would strongly advise against that course of action. I must warn you, disrupting such a delicate balance as the human psyche is a dangerous thing. You don't know what will push someone over the edge. But I will not stand in your way. Just choose your words carefully.
Time since we had a good
You're back.
gathering.
And without Daniel. What was the situation? You're serious? And you have proof? Are you sure? Look at me. Are you sure? After all this time, it takes someone from outside this vault to finally tell me the goddamn truth. Thank you, my friend. This... it's very upsetting. I'm glad I have you to rely on. I'm gonna kill that. No, not yet. Not now. I can't give him the opportunity to turn this around on me. Thank you for bringing this to my attention. I need time to make sense of this. It's best that Hugo remain unaware that I've been shown the truth. Not until I'm ready to act. I will allow him to think he retains control. You've earned a reward for your effort and honesty. I will let you know if and when I decide to act on this revelation. For now, I wait. Be careful with who you place your trust in down here. It's a viper's den. Dismissed.
You think I'm happy doing this, James? Of course not. But what choice do we have? This isn't just about us. It's about everyone here in the vault. Everyone we've lost.
He's not just a liar. He's a killer, Audrey.
Can we get started already? The tissue samples aren't gonna remain stable forever.
Oh, it's you. We were just trying to figure out... I don't know... everything. We both know everything is far from okay. We need to put an end to this, soon.
We're going to be overseeing a final experiment that could alter the future of this vault.
All of our work is coming to fruition. My research on understanding the lost, Audrey's on the weather machine. But the last piece is Uncle Hugo. Like, literally, we're examining a piece of him. Gross, I know. But once we have the right data, we can run the machine again to reverse the effects of the lost. We think.
The risk is high, but the reward is too great to ignore. And we may have a missing piece now, for an extra edge.
My father is the only one afflicted by the machine that has managed to retain his senses. At first, we speculated that it could be related to his sight impairment, but we are certain now there's more to it. He seems to have mutated differently from the other lost.
The experiments I've been running all but confirmed it.
We think the reason is because he was the one to push the big button, so to speak. He made direct contact with the device. The electricity spread out from him, almost like a conduit.
We are, and have the evidence to back it.
We've been comparing tissue samples from Uncle Hugo with ones from Papa and the others. The behavior from Uncle Hugo's sample is far more complex and responsive to stimuli. It's almost as if he's a completed specimen and the rest are just imitating him.
We've been repairing and adjusting the machine to potentially complete the Lost's transformation, using that monster upstairs as a template.
No. Which is why we run tests first. We aren't simply going to fire up the machine again and hope he's right. We need to be sure first.
That's where you come in. We need you to head surface side and run the experiment for us. We've set up a number of devices that can simulate the effects of,
It'll simulate what the impact of different device configurations will have on lost cells. In other words, we can test what would happen if we followed my uncle's plan on a smaller scale.
We're going to be reading the results as they're relayed back here. We'll be in communication via radio tuners on the devices as well. If this proves worthless, my father's going to have to... Well, we'll deal with that when we know for sure. I'll mark the first device for you. We'll make contact once we see it up and running.
Anyone else kind of excited about this? Just me then?
Seeing someone do so much good around here, it's refreshing.
I gotta get back to my work. I don't have a lot of time, but I can always find some to talk about my research. Where do we start? Well, the research we did prior to the bombs dropping is classified. And to be honest, who cares anymore? My current research is focused on the weather machine and its relationship to the Lost. That said, I'm not gonna go into that either, because we'd be here all day, and to be honest, I'm not sure that's something I want to freely discuss. Fine, the quick version then. A few years after the bombs, our residents were fighting against going feral, a complete loss of their minds. All of our research facilities pointed their efforts towards solving that. The weather machine included. By complete accident, we discovered that close proximity to the machine had a sort of reversing effect on the symptoms of feralization. Things didn't shake out as planned, though. I'm sorry. Really, this is all I'm willing to share on this. I mean it. Not like I had another choice. You've met my father. He doesn't really take no for an answer. Not quite. I've always been interested in nature and science. I'd spent hours watching the stars as a kid. No, what I actually wanted was to pursue astronomy. But my father needed a specialist and insisted it be a family endeavor. I was put in charge, but my team did all of the heavy lifting. I think they saw my heart wasn't in it, that I was mainly a family figurehead. I guess my research still has me looking up at the sky. That's almost astronomy, right? For sure. I suppose. Anything in particular? My parents were never very present or available, so I'm used to not having them around all the time. But between my father and my mother, I do wish it would have been him in a coma. At least my mother had some heart left. After my father was done corrupting her. It's always the good ones that we lose, isn't it? No, she is a sweetheart. Maybe a little too sweet for me. We had very different upbringings. I do envy her sometimes. Her parents actually cared. Sometimes it's hard to believe we're actually all related. For sure. She was the love of my life. The only one that ever got me. But I'm not really sure how any of that is relevant to you. I suppose you're not wrong there. Well, to summarize it, we met in a bookshop. And whilst that might sound romantic, it certainly was not love at first sight. We actually got into a bit of an argument. But our differences quickly became our common ground. We loved to challenge each other's views and tastes in literature. And whilst we started to love how different we were, my father saw it as a threat. God, that sounds cheesy. I'll stop boring you with this now. Having someone with such strong communist views, sweet-talking the heir of his business, built on capitalist foundations. I mean, you can see how he'd find that threatening, right? I still begged my father to allow her to join us in the vault, but to no avail. Shortly after I talked to my father, she vanished. I always thought he was behind all of it, and now I have proof. I can't believe how much she changed, though. To do something so ridiculous like kidnapping my mother? I don't think we could have worked things out anymore. It sounds like she was a whole different person, and now she's gone for good. Anyway, I think that's enough talking about this for me. Good. I'm busy anyway.
Oh, hi there.
Much as I
Nice to
hate
see you again.
Repair it.
I'm not sure I could have managed
It's
without you.
coming along. Well, sorta. It would be so much easier if I had access to my lab in organics. Still, it's not all bad. You helped me make a major breakthrough. Soon I'll have it all figured out. Probably. Maybe.
Don't
I hope.
talk to me right now.
Oh,
Ask away.
come back. How can I help?
Where should I start? We drove, duh. Oh, you mean here, as in my job? Nepotism, mostly. My uncle was made overseer of the vault, and my papa is one of his top researchers. So we were brought in to continue our research here. You know, in the event the world ended, which I guess it did. Usually, I would take care of the plants in the greenhouse and organics. When we were locked down, I'd take care of the gardens and the atrium instead. I still find it relaxing. Reminds me of better
You've been a greater
times.
asset than I could have asked for. I'm in your debt.
Alrighty then. My family. Well, there's Uncle Hugo and Aunt Cassidy. There's my cousin Audrey, and then there's Papa. Who do you want to know
Job on
about?
finding the replacement part.
Not as fun as you might think. Oh, I know I had a privileged upbringing. I had plenty
been
of
a greater
opportunities
asset
others
than I could
didn't,
have asked
but
for.
it wasn't really fun.
Your debt.
I tried to make Uncle Hugo laugh a few times with some harmless pranks. Instead, I just got in trouble.
Talk to me right now.
I only really saw him at parties and family gatherings, but you could always tell that he was in charge. If he entered a room or stood to make a speech, all eyes were on him. I think the only person he really loved is Aunt Cassidy.
Nice job on
Maybe
finding
Audrey.
the replacement part.
It's hard to tell. I guess he was pleasant to be around, if he wasn't mad at you. Harmless stuff, really. Putting jelly on Uncle Hugo's cane, moving his coffee mug
Glad Hilda's
slightly
back
to the
safely.
left. Stuff like
Hopefully
that.
her research
I got an
justified
earful from Aunt Cassidy after a gala once when she found a whoopee cushion on his chair. He didn't even sit on it. Alrighty then. Bye-bye then.
What do you need?
Thanks again for the help back
Oh?
there. Couldn't have done it without you.
What did you want to know?
If you break it, you repair it.
Who do you want to know about? Me? I'm nothing special. Spent some time in the military, then found myself with a gig here, as chief of security. Then the bombs came, and, well,
You with?
here we are.
Nice job on finding the replacement part.
He's a businessman with a lot of connections and a lot more ambition. So far, he's the only one to come back relatively unscathed from the accident. Static disposition aside, there's something off about him lately. I just haven't been able to figure out what.
If you break it, you repair it.
Before the bombs, we were a collection of the best researchers, security officers, and construction personnel one could imagine. We're now a fraction of that.
Thanks again for the
A
help.
mixture of the best and brightest, being asked to do more than their fair share to survive.
Please don't touch anything in here. We've already had enough damage.
What do you need? As I understand it, our vault's makeup is atypical from your standard operation, largely due to Mr. Stoltz's ambitious approach of its construction. Intending to begin its research even before the bombs fell, residents, scientists, and engineers began moving into the region, even as construction was underway. Mr. Stoltz's intention was for the construction team to onboard as maintenance and security once the project had been completed. This would allow for full operations even during peace times. But, well, Construction fell behind as the scope of the vault ever increased.
Please.
You've perhaps heard the specifics before, but we wound up vulnerable to drafts of fallout when the bombs did finally fall. What do you need? All right, then. What did you want to know?
This facility is filled with state-of-the-art.
I'll put it this way. She's a lot smarter than she acts. She's unpredictable, difficult to follow in conversation, but ultimately reliable. She gets results. I'm sure if you want to ask her, she'll tell you. She's friendly enough. I was surprised she was related to Hugo.
Nice job on
Hugo's brother. Seemed like a decent man, but looks can be deceiving. He was well respected in his field. Biologist, I think. He butted heads with Hugo a few times, but mostly went along with Hugo's decisions. At this point, I think it's worth a shot. I've warned her to be more careful going forward, though. Can't take unnecessary risks when there's so few of us left. All right, then. What did you want to know? How? Yes, I do. How do you know about the Atlas Project?
You repair it.
Fort Atlas? Not the Atlas Observatory?
Thanks again for the help back there.
I can't say that I do, but I imagine you're about to tell me.
You've already had enough damage.
I told you the military always has a contingency plan. Unless they aren't military. I better be cautious before making contact. It's impossible to know who they are, or how much has changed. It's
Nice
worth
job on finding the
investigating.
replacement part.
Could even be worth establishing contact. I took over the role of Chief Army Scientific Advisor from Major Bentley, when he was deemed unfit for the role. Through my management, the program got back on schedule, and we started to see results.
Don't
Not that it mattered in the end.
You've already had enough damage.
I know so. The U.S. Armed Forces are a well-oiled machine.
Thanks again for the help back there.
Observation, mostly. I was trusted with everyone's
Nice job on
safety.
finding the replacement
Being
part.
security chief meant I had access to everything. I had ears everywhere, from maintenance to top brass. I was to report everything to my superiors at the Capitol. That was the order anyway.
Thanks again for the help back there.
The U.S. Armed Forces always have contingencies planned. We're prepared for all eventualities. Even if not everyone were able to make it, there were plans in place to get personnel of every level to a safe location. They'll be finalizing preparations for operations to regroup and rebuild across the country.
Nice job.
My
on
last
finding the
orders were to
replacement
continue sending reports on progress of projects here, and report any suspicious behavior from anyone. It was before the recent chaos. While it's not the life I envisioned for myself, it's been surprisingly pleasant for the most part.
Thanks again.
Present conditions aside,
Couldn't have done
it's
it
only
without
really
you.
been the last decade or so when things have really begun to fall apart. Anything else? Nothing too personal, I hope. Fort Atlas. Not the Atlas Observatory.
Thanks again for the help back there.
I'm going to assume that this is a poor attempt at humor to lighten the mood. Now please. My leadership got Atlas funded. Dr. Hammond was a genius, but he had issues with authority. He had issues with Bentley, too.
Hello
I sometimes wonder if it was Bentley who was really the problem.
You repair it.
Thank you. Let me know if there's anything else. All right, then. My office is always open if you have something important to bring to my attention. My office is always open if you...
Couldn't have done it without you.
Please don't touch anything in here.
Huh?
I've already had
What did you say?
damage.
It's a shame we don't have the workforce to...
Impeccable timing. I was just thinking of you. You've gone through great lengths to clear a path ahead for us. The stage has been set for final preparations. Business? No, we can save that for later. I understand how my methods may seem extreme, but remember you are only seeing the end of the story. There are many chapters you've missed up until now. Perhaps I can provide some insight. Did you know that lightning can reach temperatures hotter than the surface of the sun? Energy beyond that of a star, and yet we can survive being struck by it. The Lost. Myself. My Cassidy. We live with it inside us, dancing, colliding, beautifully and violently. Invisible forces taking form right here, inside, in a fervent embrace. Chaos contained. Not a miracle, no. It's nature. When I first heard my Cassie's voice, it was magnetic, ensnaring me from across the room. Every footstep perfectly placed, as if I'd done it 1,000 times before. It was a force. A path so clear, so natural, a gravitational pull. Two entities brought together, and a magnificent explosion as a result. Only possible with our meeting. The world shifted at our very presence from that point on. We did the impossible together. No. You misunderstand. When the feral mind began to take her, I feared losing her forever. That spark between us lost its charge. She slipped further and further away. I made a choice. To follow the only path that had provided us any hope. I reignited that spark. I brought her to the device. I pushed it to its limit. I allowed it to impart on us that power greater than the burning surface of the sun.
These jumpsuits don't leave much room for expression.
An accident implies a lack of intent. No, it was a choice. The creation of the Lost was no mistake. Its failure to reach completion is, however, a half-step that left them deserted in a reality all their own. But we need to bring them back. All of them, not just my Cassie. We need to bridge the divide. That is what I'm trying to fix here. That is where I need your help. That is all I ask. We are so close to a solution now. I've provided Hilda and Audrey with all they need to complete our work. If you speak with them downstairs, they will be able to provide next steps.
Long time since we had a good community gathering around here. I'm tired of all the red tape and security checks just to get a breath.
She knows there's more at stake than her childish passions. She may hate me to my very core. You may as well. But that doesn't change what needs to be done. Thank you. They are already caught up and will provide you with the information you need. Now, is there anything else? I'd prefer if we could begin soon. Yes. Hilda and I had been chasing a potential lead for some months now. We reached a blockade, though. One that was obliterated by your arrival. She and Audrey can provide the specifics, but in short, I believe I am the key. Or at least the results of my mutation are... As I remind you, I'm no scientist. But there is hope. I have seen it. The weather machine? Really? A machine? A tool? What could be left to discuss? It was acquired. A last-minute sales pitch. I never anticipated it would have the impact it did, both positively and negatively. I hardly care to discuss history and trivial details. What it was is irrelevant. What it is now, progress, a solution. It is the catalyst for their creation, and the creation of the storm as well, though both appear to be living far beyond their conception. Our attempts to stop the spread of the feral mind led to a step in another direction. Now, we course correct. Good. You say that now, but when we succeed, when we fix all of this, well, I imagine she'll come around. We couldn't have come this far without you. I hope you know that.